Alright, a quick instructional video on these little worm farm kits of ours. These are the the red wigglers and the harvester bins for worm castings and worm casting tea. The worm casting tea will go into here. There's drainage in the top bin here. So when you are ready to get some worm casting tea, you simply run some distilled or unchlorinated water over this, and it's got drainage filter rock in the bottom that will filter it and keep the worms in, and you'll get your worm casting tea down here. Once you have the worm casting tea, you want to keep it aerated so that those microbes can stay alive. In the kit, you're going to get your worm chow. Your worm chow, you can buy more from us, or you can mix up your own. You're going to want to do organic grains, and you can do organic chicken food. Grind it up, and that gives them some protein. Oh yeah, and some kale. Some organic kale. Ocean harvested, then it's got more minerals in it. You give them about half a scoop. There's a scoop in here that comes with the kit. So this larger scoop here, you give them about a half a scoop a day until the population grows. You're just going to want to monitor it and make sure they're eating it within a couple days. And what you do is you feed them on the top here. So here's our last feeding. We put fruits, vegetables, stuff like that in the blender, blend it up, and make a feed for them. But then we also give them the worm chow to give them some protein and some extra nutrients. Also in the kit is the thermometer. On the lid here it shows the temperature. The red wiggler is like 65 to 77 degrees. Oh, there's a glare. And the European nightcrawler is like 59 to 77 degrees. So you can stick this in the soil and leave it in there and monitor. You just don't want to leave them outside in the summer or anything, but just try to keep their temperature as close to that as possible. You also get a tiny little measuring spoon in here. That is for these other nutrients. You've got your biochar, which gives them a good source of carbon. It also helps the microbes. The microbes love the surface area on biochar. You've got the silica, calcium, and 67 trace mineral blend. You'll give them just a tiny little scooper spoon of these here, and then also of this rock dust minerals. But every time you give them a feeding, you can give them a tiny scoop of each of those as well. That gives them the minerals and some grit for their gizzards so they can chew the food. Anyways, you want them to get a little bit hungry sometimes, it's okay, but you just want to monitor the food and feed them accordingly. You also want to keep it covered. You can also put plastic down in here. Some people put bubble wrap. There's different things you can put down in here that'll help keep the moisture levels off of the sides a little better, and it'll also help keep the fruit flies. So you want to keep it all covered so that the fruit flies don't come in, because they can come in through the holes in the top. Worms breathe through their skin. They need oxygen in the soil, and so there's holes up here. There's also holes in the bottom that it can breathe through and get oxygen. But having plastic covering up the food, it definitely helps a little bit more also. But everything in here is organic except for the paper towel, of course. but the bedding is organic. All the stuff is organic. So this will build up worm castings as you keep feeding them. It'll just keep building up worm castings. You can then just feed them on one side of the bin for a while, and that'll kind of make them migrate over to the side that you're feeding them on, and then you can harvest the worm castings. Or you can dump the entire thing out and separate the worms out, and then start over putting the worm wall barrier in the bottom around the sides, and then your worm bedding, which comes in one of these bags here, and there's also worm wall in one of these larger bags here too. So you have enough stuff to restart several times and keep your bin going. Thank you. We'll make a better video in the future. This is just one to get us going real quick. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at Growers Best Organics, 480-613-7420.